So one of the main questions that I get asked on my inbox or in classes is what is the difference between the round Glitterbels brush and the pinch brush? And especially in my design classes, I find I have to teach slightly different techniques with each brush. So I thought I'd do a little video to explain and show you why there is a difference to working with these two brushes. If you are struggling with your bead ratio, sometimes this round brush can be better because it holds a lot more liquid in the belly of the brush, as you can see how wet it is there. Whereas this brush in particular, if you struggle with getting your structure and your sidewalls and cuticles clean, you can see that the flatter section of the brush is perfect for sculpting down those sidewalls and getting that cuticle area in nice and flat. So it really does depend on what you need your brush for. My preference is to always have one of each to hand because I like to work slightly differently dependent on what I'm doing. So as we've already discussed, the round brush will hold a lot more liquid, especially in the belly of the brush. So when you're applying your beads to marble, all you need to do is tip the brush to the point. The gravity will pull the liquid back down the brush and will help and enable you to swirl the tip of the brush through the wet acrylic, and that will help you to create the perfect marble. However, when we move to the pinched brush, because of its shape, it's very much like an oar in the water. So if you pull it straight on with the flat section down, it's brilliant for creating momentum and movement. We don't always want to do that, especially when we're working with marble. So you do need to hold the tip down and imagine an oar cutting through water side on. So that's what you need to be doing with your pinched brush. It's a little bit more flamboyant with the wrist. If you do have this brush, you will find you might want to practice a figure of 8 carving in with just the flat point of the end, so that you know what direction you're going to carve your marble through. You don't want to be swiping down because that's going to drag out the acrylic and you will lose your marble effect. So I'm using about 4 colours to marble in here, and I'm re-wetting the brush because it doesn't contain quite as much liquid as, say, the round brush does, like we've said. So you will find just with the flat tip, just carve through in lines. You don't always have to do the same curl and movement that you do with the round brush to mix the marble whilst on the palette. You'll use more of a carving technique when marbling with a pinch brush. So remember, turn it to the side and imagine cutting and carving through water. You just want that tip to be like a blade cutting through the liquid. So I hope that these methods do help show and enable you to troubleshoot better if dependent on what brush you're using, and I hope it gives you some insight if you're considering which brush to buy.